An answer to just one question can make you wealthy, and you've probably never heard this question before. And if you act on the answer to this premium best investment question for you to ask yourself, you're probably never going to have money concerns for the rest of your life. But first, I need to build some context in order for this question to make sense to you. So settle in and let's talk about the sound architecture of your long-term real estate wealth building. It begins with keeping your emotions separate from investing. Now, when it comes to buying a long-term rental property, some of the worst guidance that I've ever heard is only buy a rental property if you would live in it yourself. Oh no, that really limits your ability to put the most profitable income properties into your portfolio. Now, you had better only buy a primary residence that you would want to live in yourself, of course, but it's definitely not that way with rentals. But yet you need some sort of standard with your rentals as well. Now, look, I have a friend who I guess saw me as a successful real estate investor some years ago. So what he wanted to do was come along with me and kind of tag along with him to go out and tour rental properties on the weekends so that I might help advise him on which rental property that he could buy. And most of these properties were unsuitable, but we found one together, a fourplex that I thought was suitable for him to buy, and he did not. And the reason that he didn't like it is this about 1980 built fourplex is because although it was well kept, some of the finishes looked dated. One of the 4 units had this pink color themed bathroom that had this sort of weird looking pink wall tile and pink sink and pink bathtub. And another one of the fourplex units bathrooms had those same bathroom fixtures but in a dated olive looking green. And then in a third unit it was light blue, and then the fourth was a totally renovated new bathroom. But here's the thing, the building was well kept. It was fully occupied, and it had a really good history of occupancy, as we learned. So that's why the fourplex checked my buy box, but my friend didn't want to buy it. He just couldn't get over the, cosmetics, the emotions that he felt in, say, a pink bathroom. So see, he couldn't live there himself as he saw it, but he was not going to live in the fourplex himself. He would be an investor that lived off-site, and this whole thing just didn't make any sense to me. So he gave into emotions, and he lost out on a profitable property. So when an investor says that they wouldn't live in an income property themselves, my response is often, oh, well, I didn't know that you planned to live there, because oftentimes the investor does not. And here's another case. Now, being sentimental, that's an emotion. I've known people that have considered buying a rental property in their own neighborhood, chiefly because they used to play basketball at that house when they were a teenager. Oh, that is an awful strategy. Investing is about facts, not feelings. And certainly not the feelings that are evoked because you slam dunked a basketball for the first time on an 8-foot rim when you were 13 years old. That's a dreadful investing strategy. We are building some context and backstory here for what I soon want to reveal as the best investment question that you can possibly ask yourself. Hey, go ahead and put a YouTube like on this video if you approve of the content and the perspective. I'd really appreciate the like. Now, it's pretty likely that you want to avoid buying property in a badly blighted, crime-ridden neighborhood that's also trending in the wrong direction, and that's even if the property is cheap. Because in those areas, it's often hard for you to find a respectful rent-paying tenant, and the property could depreciate in value at the same time if it's in too rough of a neighborhood. Actually, you typically want to avoid beautiful neighborhoods too. Yeah, avoid beautiful. That can sound unusual to you if you're a newer real estate investor, but for long-term rentals, beautiful typically is not profitable. And now it could be profitable for short-term rentals, but in beautiful long-term rentals, the rents just aren't that much higher than they are in working-class neighborhoods compared to way higher purchase prices. So depending on your target market, to go from a working class neighborhood to an upper crust neighborhood, rents might triple, but purchase prices could 10x. So because you want to avoid rough neighborhoods and avoid beautiful ones, what you want to be attracted to are working class safe neighborhoods that are just a little below the median home price. And you don't want to go so low that you're beneath the safe bar, however. See, now you're getting into a profitable zone where you probably have a high ratio of rent income in proportion to a low purchase price. What are the condition of the cars like in the neighborhood? If someone would park a decent car outdoors overnight, well, that's one sign that the neighborhood is fairly safe, most likely. And of course, that's going to be in addition to crime data and school district information that you find online. But again, it's don't let emotions prevail. And you also don't want to let personal preferences dictate what you do too much. You're going to learn some funny quirks about me here. Okay, I spent my life living in places that have a real change in seasons, and that includes a substantial winter. I think you know that for me, that's been in Pennsylvania and Alaska. But distinct seasons, they are my personal preference. But a lot of people don't care about seasons. They just want year-round warmth. So that's why I invest in Sun Belt states, because I know that that's what others want. Again, it's not about where I want to live. And I also know that even people who dislike cold, they'll still live in a place if they have a job or if they have family there. So money is attractive to a lot of people, and money trumps climate for some people. So it can be good to invest in, say, growing pockets of the Midwest. Now, here's a funny one that you're going to disagree with most likely. I don't prefer to live on hardwood floor. It is harder, colder, and noisier than carpeting. I prefer plush, padded carpeting, but I know that I'm in the minority on that one. But see, in my rentals, I use either vinyl plank flooring or a laminate hardwood flooring. I even have that in the bedroom sometimes. Not only is it more durable, but tenants actually seem to prefer it, even if I can't figure out why. So I keep emotions out of investing. I'm keeping sentimental reasons out of investing, and I'm even keeping my own personal preferences out of investing somewhat. I stick with things like facts and migration trends and jurisdictions that have strong protections for landlords. These are the facts that matter. So with all this in mind, what is the best real estate investing question that you can ask yourself during the course of your investing career? It is, does this property secure an income stream? Yeah, that's the big question, and it's unemotional. So when you ask yourself, does this property secure an income stream for yourself? Now you're accounting for the quality of the tenant that you can attract there, and the long-term building maintenance question, and if you're in a good market with enough population vibrancy and job growth vibrancy for a long-term tenant base. Now, that's my question for you, but over the years, I've learned that you've also had a question for me. It's something like, where do I find the properties conducive to securing an income stream? Well, these are exactly the types of income property at GRE Marketplace. That is a resource that me and my team put together for you, where I share the same exact property providers with you that I buy from myself. And it's free to sign up. There's no subscription fee, and just one login gives you access to all of the property providers. And they are typically in the profitable Midwest and South. And prices often appear discounted because it's a direct model. There's no real estate agent to pay at all. And we even video interview the property managers in the markets there for you. So armed with this best ever question of, does this property secure an income stream? I'm Keith Weinhold. I'll see you at gremarketplace.com. There is upward pressure on rents. And you can make this actionable at our sister website, gremarketplace.com. This is where you can leverage my industry contacts to get started with rental property. I own properties with a lot of these same providers across different U.S. states. Most of these properties which I've actually never seen in person before. And how can I have the confidence to own rental property without ever having seen it? Well, for one thing, I partner with these turnkey real estate companies, which you can do as well. I'll see you over there at GRE Marketplace.